Star Trek, a franchise that continues to this day. A franchise that scarily predicted some of the technological devices we have today. And of course, and most importantly, a franchise that has given us the greatest present of all. Countless glorious memes! But today we're plunging our hands into this huge franchise to pluck out one particular show in general and to find 10 interesting facts about it. That's right, we're taking a look at Star Trek The Next Generation, the only show that I know of where all the cast members are required to wear the most uncomfortable looking onesies. Jesus, that's got a chafe. So if you had questions like what ridiculous thing did the producers get Patrick Stewart to do during a meeting for this show, what sort of conflict arose during the writing process of the show, and has Patrick Stewart really seen everything? Has he really seen it all?
I've seen everything. Yeah, I've seen it all.
Well, that answers that one. But the rest, we've got the answers for you. Oh, would you look at that? It's number 1. So, Star Trek The Next Generation is a science fiction television show that follows the crew of the USS Enterprise D in their exploration of the Milky Way galaxy, created by Gene Roddenberry. The Next Generation, or as the cool kids are calling it, TNG, is the third series in the Star Trek franchise and the second sequel to the Star Trek original series. After the original series was cancelled in 1969, the series had continued with Star Trek The Animated Series, which ran from 1973 to 1974, then again with a series of films featuring the original cast members until finally in the 1980s, Gene Roddenberry began work on creating a new TV show within the Star Trek franchise set a century after the original series. The show ran for 7 seasons with a collective 178 episodes. Whew, that's a lot of Trek. The show featured an entire new crew to follow, which included Patrick Stewart as Captain Jean-Luc Picard, Jonathan Frakes as Commander William Riker, Brent Spiner as Lieutenant Commander Data, Michael Dorn as Lieutenant Worf, LeVar Burton as Commander Geordi LaForge, Marina Sirtis as Chancellor Troy, and Gates McFadden as Dr. Beverly Crusher. TNG managed to kickstart a whole new phase of Star Trek TV shows, including Star Trek Deep Space Nine and Star Trek Voyager. Number 2. The show began with a 1 hour and 30-minute pilot entitled Encounter at Farpoint, which managed to bring in 27 million viewers. The episode was written by DC Fontana and Gene Roddenberry. Roddenberry was of course the creator of the Star Trek franchise, and Fontana was a writer on the original series. In the episode, we are introduced to the new crew on board the newly built USS Enterprise D, as they examine the mysterious Farpoint station while under the watch of a very powerful and mysterious alien entity known only as Q. Q would be a reoccurring villain for the crew of the Enterprise and a personal nemesis for Captain Picard throughout various points in the series. This role would later be softened to a more reoccurring frenemy to Picard and his crew. The episode and much of the later episodes in the show utilised actual existing sets and props from the Star Trek films and even the original series. DeForest Kelley, who played Bones in the original series, agreed to appear in a cameo role in the pilot, and as a gesture to Roddenberry, refused to be paid more than the minimum possible salary. At the time, the pilot received some extremely mixed opinions, with some praising the performance and the style of the show, while others criticised character choices and pacing and function of the episode. A novelization of the episode was published. It was one of 5 novels to be made of The Next Generation, alongside Unification, Descent, Relics, and All Good Things. Ooh, it's number 3. TNG introduced us to a whole new captain, a very different type of captain to Captain Kirk of the original series. Picard is depicted in the show as a deeply moral, highly logical and intelligent member of Starfleet. Not to say that Kirk isn't intelligent or anything. He knew how to beat someone with a pipe. Picard is also shown to be incredibly suited to diplomacy and debate, and there are many moments within TNG where we see Picard use these skills to resolve issues and conflicts. Picard has also known to be an excellent strategist and is willing to use his tactical abilities whenever required. Other notable traits of Picard is his French background, despite holding a strong English accent, which is actually explained in the episode titled Code of Honor. His love of detective stories, Shakespearean drama, archaeology, Earl Grey tea, hot, and his favourite catchphrase, "Make it so." Patrick Stewart was originally considered for the role of Data. Gene Roddenberry was initially against Stewart being cast as Picard, as he had envisioned someone a lot younger for the role and with a full head of hair. Oh, come on, Gene, that's just mean. It's number 4. Speaking of bald heads, the producers suggested that Patrick Stewart, Sir Patrick Stewart, Shakespearean actor and all, wear a hairpiece for his first meeting with Paramount Pictures executives. The creative staff on the show were clearly worried that Paramount would veto Stewart's casting if they knew he was bald. After the meeting, however, the executives agreed to cast Stewart on the condition that he not wear the same ridiculous toupee. That's just beautiful. I got 5 on it. Oh, copyright strike. The original version of the Starfleet uniform in TNG was originally very uncomfortable for the actors, leading to a change of design from a 1-piece to a 2-piece outfit in season 3. Although the new uniforms were easier to wear, the jackets had a tendency to ride up when the actors and actresses were sitting down. Patrick Stewart got into the habit of straightening his jacket with a sharp downward tug as he stood up, an action that became known amongst the cast and crew as the Picard maneuver. Leonard Nimoy previously used this maneuver towards the end of Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. Oh, don't believe it, it's number 6. The Ferengi, an alien race that looks like someone just smashed together a rat and a hobbit, were originally introduced with the intention of making them the main reoccurring villains in the series, much like the Klingons were in the original series. However, audiences found the Ferengi too comical to take seriously as potential foes, and the race was slowly refined into the more comedic characters like Quark in Star Trek Deep Space Nine. The Borg eventually became infamous as the show's ultimate nemesis. Not that nemesis. Number 7, baby. Number 7. During the first few seasons, many in the writing staff became frustrated by Gene Roddenberry, feeling his utopian standards severely limited the quality of the stories they wanted to create. This resulted in some of the writers quitting the show, while remaining writers began to feel a greater sense of freedom when Roddenberry began to take a lesser role in overseeing the show. Some writers also found it odd that Roddenberry had forbidden any interpersonal conflicts between the regular characters, in light of the fact that such conflicts between Kirk, Spock and McCoy were a centerpiece of Star Trek. You wanna know a secret? It's number 8. Gene Roddenberry had made public his plans to add gay characters to the show, with Geordie LaForge reported to be one such character in the original series treatment, and had even commissioned scripts to introduce them at the start of the series run. However, with his decline in health and subsequent death leaving executive producer Rick Berman in charge of production, these plans were scrapped because Rick Berman hates gay people. Wait, is that libelous? It's unconfirmed if Rick Berman hates gays, although he probably does. Though no public reason has ever been cited for this omission, actors Leonard Nimoy, Kate Mulgrew and Scott Bakula have all obliquely pointed to Berman as personally vetoing all attempts to introduce LGBT characters into the Trek universe. Oh wait, he does hate the gays! Get him! Good heavens, number 9. The Next Generation spawned several films based on the crew from the show, with the first being Star Trek Generations in 1994, then Star Trek First Contact in 1996, followed by Star Trek Insurrection in 1998, and finally ending with a quite frankly depressing way with Star Trek Nemesis in 2002. Seriously, have you seen the ending of that film? God, everybody just looks miserable at the end. What a feel-good movie. I say, oh chap, it's number 10. Though all of the live action sequences were shot on 35mm film, the visual effects sequences were shot on video to reduce production costs. This later posed an enormous challenge when Paramount Pictures decided to release the show on Blu-ray, as the quality of the picture of the original master tapes was not a high enough resolution to undergo the transition to Blu-ray format. Paramount Pictures had to recover all of the original live action and visual effects footage and use digital techniques to restore and upgrade the picture quality. Essentially, this meant every episode had to be re-edited from scratch. Well, there you go, 10 facts about Star Trek TNG. What a huge show this is. 10 facts obviously does not come close to covering all of the interesting facts there is about this show, so who knows, we may come back to this show or take a look at another show in this franchise. And hey, if you like this, then why not check out our other film facts videos? Or if you want to help support the channel, then you can do by liking the video, sharing, or even subscribing to our channel and hitting the bell thingy to stay notified on all future videos. And why not follow us on Twitter? I always post on there when a new video is out. But thanks for watching, guys.